What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Equali Espresso and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. 1.6 million. That's the number we're going to be focusing on here today, and for those that do not know, that is the number of dislikes currently at the time of recording this that the Infinite Warfare trailer does have. Now, at this point in time, it is surely going to go up here, so by the time you watch this, it may even be at 1.7, 1.8, whenever it may be that you watch it, surely it's going to be a lot larger. Now, there's a couple things that I want to discuss here within this, and it's going to be a little bit more freeform than all the other news stuff and tips and all the class setup stuff that I do here on the channel. This one is a little bit more freeform and a little bit more opinionated, a little bit more maybe biased, but I'm going to try and keep it as relative and general as possible so that I don't form an opinion. You guys can do that for yourselves down there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Before we even get too far into this, what do you think here of this trailer? Is it something that you are genuinely worried about here for Call of Duty 2016, or do you think it's something that's completely blown out of proportion, or maybe you're somewhere in the middle? Now, before we get too far into it, I want to get this out of the way, clear my chest a little bit here, because this is going to sound like I'm hardcore defending the game, Activision, whoever it may be, but honestly, I am very skeptical myself. But there are a few things that you need to take a look at from a larger scale, a bigger point of view than just the instant gratification of hitting that thumbs down button on the trailer. I've never been the biggest fan of Infinity Ward's work, but I'm definitely willing to give it a try because, well, to be totally honest with you guys, these guys have worked for 3 years here on something, and a minute and a half of gameplay, a little bit more actually than that, has formed an opinion that pretty much takes that 3 years of work and flushes it down the toilet. So with that being said, there are a few things that we have to note. Everybody seems to be jumping on the hate bandwagon firstly. Call of Duty is something that the past 3 years have been, in the sales numbers, not the worst thing, but the public eye, everybody seems to be more outcrying and complaining against it. There is some very valid reasons for that. They don't really want the futuristic setting, they don't want the advanced movement, and going back to when the stemmed, Ghosts wasn't a great game. However, we have to keep in mind that this is something that we asked for change a long time ago, and starting this all at one point in time, having 3 years of this, next year is really the first year that we can look forward to maybe not seeing this, because everything else was in development whenever these complaints started to snowball and people really started to get upset. And with 1.6 million people claiming that they do not like this, where the franchise is going, well, it's definitely going to be a spin around here and maybe even a big wake-up call to some of these developers or something like that, however you want to think about it. But nonetheless, that's not really the main point in why we're talking about it here. I personally believe that boots on the ground, literal boots on the ground, will be in next year's Call of Duty after 2016 with Sledgehammer, and I have a really good theory on actually where this could go. I'll probably touch on that later on in a video, but another big thing is that this is now the most disliked gaming video on YouTube, and number 4 or number 3 currently sitting at that position of videos all time for dislikes. Not like everything gaming-wise or everything movie-wise, literally out of the billions and billions of videos on YouTube, this is number 3 or 4 on the dislike charts. Battlefield won the direct competitor this year, which is going to be a massive, massive competition here. And I'm really interested to see how that's actually going to play out. As a side note, that's something that trailer actually is the #1 most liked trailer of all time on YouTube. At least according to forums, I can't say that I've found anything differently here to contradict that, but 1.2 million likes at the moment of recording this is what that has. And so it's pretty much apples and oranges. Everybody seems to love where Battlefield's going, where they're going back to the World War I era, and Call of Duty seems to just go farther in the future. But now this brings me to the real point. What is the purpose of this? Well, to be totally honest with you, dislikes don't mean anything. Sure, it may actually show the discontent and the distaste with where the theme may be going, but to be totally honest with you, it is a massive marketing ploy. Maybe not intentionally, but truthfully, dislikes don't do anything. And if anything, this now holding the record for the most gaming disliked video, and now up there in the top 5 of the most disliked videos of all time on YouTube, that honestly puts Call of Duty on another map. Sure, it might not be the best connotation here for it, but you can guarantee that there's going to be a bunch of articles saying that this is now in there, and it's free publicity. There's a saying that goes that there's no such thing as negative publicity, and this this is honestly that exact case. With every single passing dislike, Activision doesn't care because that's just pushing the video out farther for more people to see. Sure, a lot of people may be just mass disliking it, hopping on other accounts to dislike it, and maybe even the big theory is, which is very plausible, that it's artificial dislikes, that it's botted, that it's not real people, unique viewers actually hitting dislike. It's more so just everybody jumping on the hate bandwagon and saying, let's all dislike this by any means possible. Of course, that is something that is very possible, but nonetheless, it doesn't affect the game in any way, shape, or form. It's still going to push out this fall, and yes, we'll probably see a change here with next year's Call of Duty, but for right now, there's honestly nothing that can happen, and for that, I really don't know if I have an opinion or a say on this. Honestly, I think it does suck that it does happen, but honestly, it's worth a shot still, because once again, these guys spent 3 years creating this game, and for 3 minutes of a gameplay trailer to ruin absolutely everything, personally, I don't like where that's going, but that's up to the community, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. This one may not have been as focused as I'd hoped it to be, like I tried to revise from my 15-minute video, but nonetheless, I'd love to hear your thoughts down there, and if you guys did like the video, be sure to like, rating down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We're almost there, so every little bit does help, and is, of course, greatly appreciated. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to hopefully have a pilot episode of a brand new series coming out later tonight. Check that out if you guys are interested, and I'll see you guys later. My name's been Nikolai Espresso. Take care, and peace.